In this section we will be using the trainer central files that we have relocated to our hard drive to create a new Revit project and link them in. Go to Autodesk Revit and create a new project. We'll wait a moment while this loads up. And over in projects, create a new project based on the E15 what's electrical template. Hit OK. And once this opens up, you'll notice that there are two views that have been specifically included in this template for linking new files when the project is first started. They are the initial linking floor plan and the initial elevation view. It's best practice to see the links as you bring them in, especially if in this case we're going to need to acquire coordinates. So the initial linking plan is just a bare bones floor plan. The other one that's good for linking is just the default 3D view. It's important to, before we get into managing the links, that we talk a little bit about coordinates. If we look at our What's Electrical CAD BIM Management Plan, which is again located in our Electrical Standards Revit BIM Standards folder, section 5.5 about linking Revit files states that when inserting a linked Revit file, position of the link shall be auto origin to origin. That is for the first set of linked files that are brought in originally on a brand new project where there are no coordinates that have been shared coordinates that have been published. It says that once project coordinates have been published to the various discipline central files, new central files shall link using shared coordinates. The way our process works at this point is that we need to have all the central files in the same general vicinity. So the first project that you link to should always be either the architectural or the structural model. Those will contain the local structure and make sure that your model is in the same general vicinity as all the other models. And that goes for mechanical as well. They're going to do origin to origin with architectural, we'll do origin to origin with mechanical, and we'll do origin to origin with structural. At some point, the person who is creating this central file, the site Revit model, that's the person in civil structural that's responsible for getting the northern and eastern coordinates associated with this project. So once they do that, they will link in all the other central files and then publish coordinates to each of these. Once this project publishes its coordinates to all the other models, then we are all using the same shared coordinate system, and any new models that are linked in should then, from that point forward, use shared coordinates. In this case, we grabbed an existing project that we're using as our central file that we're using for our central files. This is the basis for our project, is an existing facility. So coordinates have already been published. Therefore, our work flow is going to be we're going to link origin to origin by with the architectural model. Then we're going to acquire the coordinates from the architectural model. Then we will link by coordinates with the other models. So let's walk through that. Under the Manage tab, go to Manage Links, add a project. We're going to navigate to our desktop where we have our local central files located. Here's the Trainer Central Files folder. We're going to first grab the architectural model and we're going to do origin to origin. And hit OK. Zoom to extents, you can double click, you can right click, zoom to fit, double click the center mouse button. Now we've got the architectural model. We're going to acquire the coordinates from the architectural model. They're acquired. There's no notification, but if you try to do it again, make sure that you see the blue highlight, the blue section box that tells you you're highlighting that link, not just an item in the link. But click on the blue section box, try to acquire coordinates again. If you've already acquired coordinates, you'll get this notice. So now we're using the shared coordinates of the architectural model. We'll begin bringing the other models in, linking them with shared coordinates. And you'll probably get some notifications about coordinates needing to be adjusted. That's fine, just hit OK. If you want to hit save, that's a good idea, because if you don't do it now, you'll have to do it later. And this is what your model should look like. You see the architectural model here. If we click this one, this is the structural model. Over here we have the mechanical equipment from the mechanical model. In the building we'll also notice some mechanical equipment. If we zoom in a little bit here, you've got the fan, the exhaust fan, HVAC equipment, and of course the topography from the site file. So this is all in the correct location for this model, and you now want to make sure that this gets saved as a central file. So go to Collaborate, turn on worksets, which will enable work sharing, turn this into a central model. And once that process finishes, hit OK. Go ahead and save it as a central model. It's going to ask you to save your position in each of the linked files. Go ahead and confirm that you do want to save that. And then in the same folder as your linked central files, just create a training electrical model. Verify that your work sharing is checked to make this a central model after save, which should be by default enabled if you have turned on worksets. Click Save. Now at this point, once this is done saving, you will have created a new central file. It's best practice never to work directly in the central file because you're working basically on the server copy of the file, and if it gets corrupted or damaged in some way, you could ruin a lot of people's work. So go ahead and close this instance of the model, and you're going to open a new instance and create a new local copy. And this is going to open your project as now a local copy. It's actually located now in your local files folder, which you can see where that is if you go into Revit Options, File Locations, User Files. So this will be the location of all your local copies of the central models. And if you scroll, if we actually go to that folder in Windows Explorer, and we go down to Training Electrical Model, this is the local copy we're actually working out of right now. There is one more step that we want to get to before we end this section, and that is to make sure that we are actually able to create a floor plan that we can work from in this model. You notice this initial linking view is a basic floor plan. If you go to the settings, this is based on the working floor plan, which if we go to edit, the associated finished floor, by default the finished floor level that comes with each standard project is at right about sea level. That's a problem for this project, which actually exists about 7,000 feet above sea level. So we need to create some floor plans that are at the correct elevation for this project. So in order to do that, go to in the initial linking view, there is an initial elevation. That's this guy. This one just happens to be pointing west, but if you want the other cardinal directions to be shown as well, you click those check boxes. Now you've got an east elevation, north, south, or rather west, north, south, and east. Click on any one of these and it will show you this is the finished floor that we're actually working. This is the finished floor, the default level that comes with the project. But like I mentioned, this project is actually at 7,000 feet. So to illustrate that, turn off the crop region. And if you zoom out, this is the finished floor where our initial linking plan is, and you'll notice that it's right at sea level. Zoom to fit, and we'll see that the rest of the project is up here. So we need to copy, monitor the levels for the actual region of the project. A lot of these are duplicated, but we're going to work off of the architectural model. So hit VV to open the graphics override on Revit Links. Turn off everything but the architectural model. So now we have the levels that are hosted by the architectural model. Change your scale here to something a little more reasonable so that these are more legible. And